All right, so this is a pretty exciting Halloween hangover. It is the first, as far as I'm aware, I'm almost positive it's the first video in which I'm reviewing an independent horror book. Full disclosure before I begin, I do know the author. We've been in correspondence loosely, but we've kept in touch over the years since at least I was in high school. Jaidis has always been one of my biggest inspirations. I think she's one of the most generous people in publishing. I genuinely mean that. If I didn't have these positive things to say about her, why would I keep in touch with her? Why would I work with her in any capacity? Longshot Books has worked with her producing some for Juniper Grove book tours. Just her website, her company, Juniper Grove, her books, I really think very highly of. They're major inspirations for me, not only as a publisher, but also as a writer. It really is a lot of the reason why I am a part of the indie book circuit. The other reason nobody wants to publish me, of course, but but no, it's a big reason that I'm happy to be in that world, even though I am kind of on the outskirts hermetically. And so I know her. Most of the people that I do want these videos on will know me in some capacity. I mean, we may not spend holidays together, or we may not ever see each other in person, but they're people in my social network. I highly doubt, someone like Dean Koontz is going to submit a book review, and if he did, I wouldn't take it. With no personal disrespect to him, but he doesn't need me to do reviews. But if you want an example of why, it'll be people typically that I've known, interacted with, or promoted in the past. Well, quite frankly, look at the view count. I'm happy to review any book that I can within circumstances, but unfortunately with limited resources as well as a limited outreach, this is what I'm working with, and I'm very happy to do so. I'm very happy to promote these people. That's why I do so, because I genuinely believe in their work. So with that out of the way, let's get into some of Jaidis Shaw's short stories. These are short stories. It's going to be kind of a lightning round, a speed dating with books, because not only are they shorter, so naturally there's less to talk about than a feature-length film or a full book, but also I don't want to give away spoilers. I'm going to give you this basic setup and my general thoughts on them, but I don't want to accidentally stumble into ruining them for anybody. I will be looking at my computer for quite a bit of this, so it is what it is. I want to get my details right. I don't want to tell you the wrong stories in the wrong book, for your sake, as well as out of respect for Jaidis and the stories and the editors who put these great anthologies together. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is called Mother's Instinct, and this one is from Another Beautiful Nightmare, a Women of Horror anthology. On that note, there's a lot of girl power stuff in these books, a very kind of feminist angle on a lot of them, a lot about people who might be perceived as victims getting the upper hand and taking one's life in their own hands. Really good message and a lot of good stuff, particularly in this story, I think, because it is a story about essentially a mother raising a young werewolf child. And it's an interesting take where you get this family aspect. There's a very clear 3-act story with different time jumps and different story beats that I liked. I liked the way that it tells how you become a werewolf is interesting to me. I don't think it's as common as the typical getting bit angle. So I liked that. I liked the character dynamics of a mother kind of afraid of her daughter, but she loves her, so she's trying to provide for her in unconventional circumstances. I enjoyed that. I thought it was clever. I like it. Of course I did, or else I'm not doing videos on stories I don't like. That's what Halloween Hangover's for, is stuff I like. It's not a review show where you're going to see me bash something, at least very often. Maybe if I have strong thoughts, but the next one is The Reluctant Seamstress from the Lurking collection. I'll provide links to all of these in the About section, by the way. So yes, The Reluctant Seamstress. It's almost a morbid take on The Little Mermaid. It's about kind of a society of mermaids who make human skin suits. I don't want to get into too much more of it than that, because I feel like if I do, I'm going to accidentally spoil stuff. But that's the general aesthetic and take on it. There's interesting stuff on it that I noted, like they worship a moon god. They also have their tools are made of like seashells, so they have like a shell knife. And it kind of cracked me. It's referred to as a shell knife rather than a seashell knife because, in Philly you call it a cheesesteak, not a Philly cheesesteak. And just some clever world building like that, especially for such a short story. Good stuff. Once again, of course, recommended. Third up is The House on Juniper Lane. So in this one, a teenage girl wakes up in the local haunted house and next to a corpse. The girl is an orphan. Her parents are never found. She thanks the goddess at one point in this. Once again, a little bit of just a minor detail. It's just interesting that adds the story in a way that you wouldn't really expect. It's not really a highly religious story or anything, but it's just a little detail that gives a little bit of that Jaidis flavor. And for the basic setup, just think of Night of the Demons in terms of going to the local haunted house and things go wrong, but maybe not in the way that you necessarily expect. And overall, without giving too much away, there's a few good twists in the story that I think are natural, they're clever, they're fun. I really enjoyed this one. I don't want to rank these or anything, because I just didn't put that kind of thought into it. I just take them as they are. I don't like grading art necessarily if I can help it. But this was one of my two favorites, personally speaking, with my own taste and experiences reading it. Next one up is Blind Justice. This one, actually, out of all the stories, feels like it could have been its own book, even a series, really, if Jaidis decided to take it in that direction, or even just expand it and tell the same story. So it's about a blind woman who is a police profiler. She's getting threatened by a serial killer. Of course, it sets up multiple things. It's interesting, a blind profiler for the police and how that would function, how she might be treated, how she does her job, how she lives her life. That's an interesting character. Also, her getting threatened by a serial killer. It's almost like that movie Hush, where the girl's blind. I didn't really care for the movie because I thought it should have been a silent film. And it wasn't. There was sound in it the character just couldn't hear, and I get it. That's conventional. People like that, but I wanted more of that Hitchcockian approach. I just didn't like the movie, but we're not talking about that movie. So I don't recommend Hush personally. People like it. I didn't. I do recommend Blind Justice. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a really a lot of potential in this one. It's a high concept. I think works really well to its advantage. You like the central character. You like all the characters. You're kind of caught up in the mystery, the thrill of it. Once again, I mean, this is a common thing with Jaidis. Very good twists. I really liked it. Has a strong resolution that's very satisfying. There's a comparison I wanted to make to give people a vibe this is going for, but if I do, then I feel like I'll be spoiling the story, so unfortunately I cannot do that. But yeah, I mean, that is the longest of these stories. It's the most fleshed out, and personally, it was my favorite. More than anything, I think, is because it was the longest one. I really enjoy Jaidis' writing. I appreciate her work in all aspects of publishing. I'd love to continue supporting her as I can. And I strongly recommend it. I think she's just one of the coolest, best people in publishing. And that's really all I have to say, is that I think these stories are great. They're a lot of fun. They are quick reads. I read them all in a day. To be fair, I was speed reading it. I had the day off. I just read for like a couple hours. But yeah, good stuff. So check it out. I'll provide the links below. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that other shit. And, of course, the obligatory at the end, Lexi Spino's book, Electra is still out. She just recently put out an awesome little performance video in a bathtub. We just recently are releasing, I should say, not recently, I got the dates mixed up. I actually thought it was on the 5th, so I posted all these links. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not up yet. We're late. It's on the 8th, is Atomic Fly Swatter Volume 1. So many great authors in there, so many great stories. I can't wait to promote it. We also have put up that it's not available on Amazon. It's only available through ordering through the author or us. It is a book by an author, Charlie, we've been working with. If you'd like to inquire about that, we'll post the details. We're trying to work out how to promote it under these circumstances online, since it's not really that way. But once again, great stuff. So proud of her. So proud of them. So proud of Maureen, is what I meant to say originally, but I want to put the author first. I'm so proud of Maureen for putting the book together and doing all this hard work on that one. And I personally edited a lot of Atomic Fly Swatter, hardest editing job I've ever done. So please check all that out. This isn't about promoting just my company and my works, though. This is mostly about Jaidis. So first and foremost, check it out. Check out our website. Buy our books. Thanks.